Through these experiences, I've learned a lot and I want to help others learn and grow in return. So I hope that I can bring some of the lessons learned and experience from my career and bring that into the podcast and share that all with you. Hey devs, and welcome to the first episode of the Goobar podcast, where we talk about building great software and helping others to do the same. Here we have short chats about things like software development, working in teams, and building your ideal career in tech. We aim to foster a sense of connection, inspiration, and continued learning so we can all continue to dream, learn, and create. Like I said, this is the first episode of the goobar podcast. You might call it episode 0 if you're so inclined. I am your host, Nate Ebel, and I'm very happy that you're tuning in to this first episode of a project I've personally wanted to start for quite some time now. Podcasts have always been one of my favorite ways to learn, to stay up to date, or to be inspired, and it's a format that I'm really excited to play with. Now, at the forefront of my mind as I've thought about doing a podcast, starting this project for a while, I always ask myself, what's this all about? What's the why? Why do you want to do this? And for me, it comes down to the fact that I really just love chatting with developers. I enjoy answering questions. I enjoy asking questions, sharing tips and advice from my experiences working as a software developer, and I enjoy learning from the experience of others. I feel I've been really fortunate to have great teams in the past. I've had great mentors throughout my career, and a big part of that mentorship has always been the short little chats and all the small interactions throughout the day-to-day experience of working together. And that's the idea that I want to bring to this podcast. A feeling of connectedness and a sense that someone out there is in your corner if you're ever feeling stuck, which, let's face it, we all feel at some time or another, maybe even all the time. I want to imagine that we're sitting down for a quick cup of coffee and just chatting. We might talk about fixing an interesting bug one day, or how to be more involved in a local developer community. We might chat about how to carve out the next step in your career journey. We'll cover a lot of ground as we explore the many different facets of a modern developer career and all the different things that go into that. My hope is that each week we can feel inspired to dream, to learn, and create, so we can spend our time in rewarding careers, doing the work we enjoy, and helping others to also dream, learn, and create. Now, since this is our first episode, I wanted to share a little bit more about my background and experiences so you know a bit more about me, where I'm coming from, and honestly, let you give a chance to see if you even care or even want to spend your time listening to what I have to say. So I've been writing code for about the last 10 years and professionally for the last 6 or so. I've worked on a variety of projects ranging from the development of GIS datasets for sewer and water departments in local government. I've done research into autonomous mobile robots running on Android phones, and I've spent time building mapping, creative, and education applications. I've spent the majority of my professional career building consumer Android apps working at startups and in small local government, though I've always been on pretty small development teams of no more than 10 Android developers, and honestly, about half that time I've been on teams of only 2 or 3 Android developers. So I definitely come from a background of working on small teams where we have a lot of empowerment to work on lots of different parts of an application, from dealing with customers, dealing with low-level stuff like databases and security, to building out UI, to developing product requirements, to running A/B tests and playing with analytics. So there's a lot of different experiences that go into that I hope we can get into down the line. Now, my early career was spent in an office, but I spent the last 4 years or so working remotely, and I'm very supportive of remote work and would love to chat about more of that in the podcast and future episodes, especially given 2020 and how everyone is making that shift to remote work these days. I have a passion for teaching and for supporting others, and have been active in different developer communities over the past several years. I've had amazing opportunities to speak internationally. I've gotten to author a book, create online courses, and to teach both in person and remotely. I also enjoy creating content through blogging, my YouTube channel, or now this podcast. Through these experiences, I've learned a lot, and I want to help others learn and grow in return. So I hope that I can bring some of the lessons learned and experience from my career and bring that into the podcast and share that all with you. So once again, thank you for checking out this first episode. I hope that you'll stick around and subscribe for future updates. If you'd like to ask a question and possibly have it answered in a future episode, send an email to podcast@goobar.io. Again, that's podcast@goobar.io. Or you can find me on social media, and I'm always happy to answer DMs and to chat about whatever it is that you're curious about. So we'll leave it there. Until next time, devs, and remember, dream, learn, and create.